Hello, Steve White, TrekBoy89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, it's the 30th anniversary of Deep Space Nine, which always sneaks up on me because I always think of it as a 1992 series, not a 1993 series, because all the press was 1992, and whenever I look at my DVDs or videos, it says 1992 it was produced in, because it was produced in 1992 and it was shown in January. For some reason, they pushed off the releases of Deep Space Nine and Voyager into the next year. Like, Next Generation came out in September of the year it was made. And I think people expected Deep Space Nine to come out in 1992. And I originally got the rental video, because that's what you did back in the day when you're a boss. You went and bought the the rental version directly from the store instead of waiting to rent it. And I remember riding back in the car, and there was a review for it on the radio. And at first I was optimistic about it. And I kind of liked it. Kind of eased you in. It kind of slipped in there, kind of like a bad lover. Like, it sort of shows you its good side first, and then starts slapping you around when there's no one around to sort of see what's happening. I don't like Deep Space Nine now. I kind of liked it then, because I kind of had fantasized about the idea of a space station and living on a space station. I thought that would be cool. But then we didn't get a Starfleet space station. We got an ugly, garish Kardashian space station, which there isn't a single episode that doesn't take place on the Defiant that has beautiful production design on the show. Everything is chunky and metallic and gaudy, and it looks like you're either in some gothic dungeon-looking set, or you're in the middle of Las Vegas when you're on like the promenade or Quarks or something. There's nothing beautiful about the show. And it was really designed as anti-Star Trek, anti-TNG Star Trek. The main sort of power behind the show, or the main sort of artistic push behind the show, hated Star Trek, hated Gene Roddenberry. This has all been well documented. I'm not making it up. And he really wanted it to be the anti-Star Trek. He thought Star Trek was immature and unrealistic, and he wanted it to be realistic and how he saw the world from his limited, unenlightened little view. And that's what it is. It's basically war and religion and ugliness and terrorism and all the things that Star Trek, that the humanity resolved for itself in the future. That future we had to look forward to, where all those things were gone, and we can go into the future without that and explore. And if we ever encountered anything like that, it was from outside, and we could teach those people something and learn more about ourselves while doing it, and everyone got better. That's what Star Trek was. This was just wallowing in the negativity of the 90s. And it is a very 90s show when you think about it, because the 90s was such a cynical, ugly decade. The 80s was great. Next Gen was great, because it had part of it was just the times. Like the 60s, the original Star Trek was great. Part of it was because just the times it was made in. The 90s were ugly, and Deep Space Nine was an ugly show. And a lot of people love it. They think it's the best show. That's because they don't get Star Trek. And they think that that's what Star Trek should have been, because that's what they can relate to, because that's today, and they don't have the imaginations or the intelligence to imagine or envision or believe in anything more than that. And I'm sick of Deep Space Nine fans saying it's the best Star Trek and the other Star Treks are all stupid. They sound very much like the Discovery fans who say the same thing about real Star Trek. It's sort of the same people. And Section 31, the war, Sisko committing war crimes and being proud of it and defiant about it and celebrating it. Those things were sickening to me at the time. Now, the only good thing about Deep Space Nine was it was kind of buffered between Next Generation and Voyager. You always saw Deep Space Nine, you got Deep Space Nine with a bit of real Star Trek. Watching it on its own, I can't do it. I marathoned it once on DVD, and even that was just season by season. I tried to watch the whole thing, couldn't do it. And I tried to watch it for the 20th anniversary. I tried to watch it each week as like an anniversary for each episode. I got through to the third season and I had stopped because I just couldn't do it anymore. It was just so ugly and negative. And even though the actors were great, I have to say, I love Terry Farrell. I love Siddig El-Fadil. Whatever his name is now. The actors were great. The writers were good. I mean, the show is good quality. It's just not Star Trek. It's generic science fiction. It's dark. It's about war and everything negative, and that's what's wrong with it. So, and Section 31 is just the biggest abomination. Basically what it says is this vision that Gene had is just not maintainable without, MAGA, basically. You can't have, you can't have that vision without, it was so cynical saying, no, really this is what's happening in the background. You just don't see that. and you're like I just hate it. I can't even get into it. It makes me so angry. But I'm gonna go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you sort of feel the same and had similar experiences with the show, feel free to let me know. I'm gonna go. Bye.